Design Indaba.
I don't know anything about Tsonga people. The only thing I know about them is that they are coming from Limpopo.
I know they are a South African culture.
They love bright colors.
And they like weird things, like they like to embrace their culture.
They wear those big skirts, like
They have those big
huge ass.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicos when they dance.
I don't know what to
Xibelani.
call it, but it's
Is it a
Xibelani or
Xibelani?
something.
Yeah.
like-
The word Xibelani means the Xitsonga traditional dance skirt.
aba ku itinguvu aba nga vuli ku swibelani swa masiku lama khale a ko tiri tinguvu
Khale a wu nga mbali xibelani i nga mbalangi nceka.
Men were even forbidden of touching it or seeing it.
The first Xibelani I saw, I think, was the woolly ones.
swa tinguvu a swi sasekile ku a swi ri ti-color block yi ranga lavi ku ta sala color block yi fanekele yi va yi koka matiko.
My mother, she made a Xibelani out of a bag of maize-meal.
People had alternative every time.
The missionaries brought the dresses.
ku va lava nga ta hi le a swisa mafurwa a hi ku mafurwa phela na kereke yaleyi leyo sungula a hi ku i maswisi mixini loko i mbali tinguvu a va ku i miyedini.
They were just condemning anything to do with the culture of these people. That's where they were wrong.
Hey, loko hi nda mhani ambili xibelani a swi nga ta ku khoma kahle a wu ta fika n'wi byela mhani ku mhani mi nga ha ti xikolweni. So the people who continued to wear it were the people who didn't have any choice. They only knew Xibelani as their only dress.
If we are only Tsonga on special occasions or public holidays, then who are we the rest of the time?
va hlekile mara va tlhe va vuya kona a swibelani.
Even the people who were with the missionaries.
It's like now everyone wants to wear Xibelani.
Madjozi shopo angena mbali na TN amangari na BM pengengume minkarhi ya PM ngena xikarhi ka DM hi ni rhandza party hi ni rhandza weekend hambuka i ngati hi ningeti hi wen wa hi nga tshiki xin'wani taca timani hi ka ni swi lavi leswi nga mi vavi ae va hi rhandza hi risorile va ri kuna rora let's go ae va hi rhandza hi risorile va ri kuna rora hi kombela makhadzi va jeli n'wana makhadzi va jeli. What's up, Design Indaba? Let's go! Hurry, 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 hurry. All right. Okay. Everybody say. Hi, Madjozi, Jozi, Jozi. Hi, Mani, Makazi, Kazi, Kazi. Let's go. Hi, Madjozi, Jozi, Jozi. Hi, Mani, Makazi, Kazi, Kazi. Trissa, Ebo. I walk a para, I beg and longish mara, nickle like matata, instant he banakwasa. Makazi very famous golfing at the kiwi come. He randa party, he randa weekend, Hambuka ingati, he get to he went. And that is what pisses me off. I got no pieces to offer. Y'all come over, we get me closer, let's run that's when I like now. Hi Madjozi, Jozi, Jozi. Hi Mani, Makazi, Kazi, Kazi. Yepo. All right, check it out. Epo, na, epo, na, ebo way. Thank you guys so much. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys today? Welcome to what's going to be a really amazing next few days. I could have opened the 25th annual Design Indaba by, just performing, and I'll do quite a bit of that, but I also wanted to answer the question that gentleman asked as soon as I got on stage, which was, what is she wearing? And to answer that, I've been working on that documentary that you saw the trailer of. It's a work in progress. So welcome to what I know about the history of Xibelani. So Tsonga women are not the first women to try and think of ways to accentuate their figures, right? It's not a new idea. It's something that's happened since forever. And I guess Xibelani is just one group's answer to that, right? But what interests me about studying the history of Xibelani is knowing and learning about the public versus the private nature of the garment and the political nature of the garment, as Sislewu touched on earlier. And also what the garment has meant for women navigating patriarchy. Ne? So for me, Xibelani is very central to my visual identity. From the very first time that I appeared publicly as Sho Madjozi, I was wearing one. And that caused a lot of hullabaloo. So studying this full history tells us a lot about this country's history, and hopefully it can help us to paint some kind of way forward. So let's go. Are you guys ready? The oldest picture I can find of a Xibelani is this one, which is from the late 1800s. It doesn't really have a name. Back then it was called Tingubo, which basically just means clothes. That's how widely spread it was. It was made out of a cloth that was tied around the waist. From as soon as the early ones, you can already see that it has this, which we call vilwa, or attire. So I think that's because they didn't really sew it. I think they just had a rope, and then they hung the cloth over that rope. I think that's pretty much how that was made. They often didn't wear tops. And yeah, that's would have been worn in this kind of setting, something like that, in what was then Transvaal and also parts of what is now Mozambique. But now, if you were not able to get the material required to make such a garment, then you would likely wear what we call dobani. A dobani is the underwear of Xibelani, or the lingerie, if you like. This was worn in the house or by very naughty girls outside of the house. It was most often covered with a cloth, which makes you wonder, okay, so why wear it if it's going to be hidden? But actually, the main purpose of it was to create that shape. Nice. It was to create that shape, right? This is a picture of my grandmother. She's likely wearing one under that. That's my brother in her arms. That's my mother. See, there's a difference between my mom's figure and my granny's figure. That's dobani for you guys. And so because it was something that it was put together by women who didn't have enough money to buy the whole cloth to make one. So women just made dobanis out of whatever material they could find, scraps, leftover stuff, etc. So it used to be different colors and stuff, and so it wasn't really seen as beautiful. It was kind of shameful to really have it be seen. So women covered it with this cloth, which is called njeka. Yeah, and then it just basically showed the shape. As you can see, this is dobani there. It was very rare to catch pictures of them because, like I said, they weren't really supposed to be for public use. But this is a picture of my mother and her friend wearing them, just playing around. This is not at all how you would wear them in its actual context, but I wanted you guys to see. So that's the dobani. Now, if you didn't have money for even that, and you didn't have even pieces of cloth lying around, then maybe you had a sack, because likely you were eating a lot of maize-meal. So that came in sacks, usually. And you could unravel those and create this kind of Xibelani. So you could make that. I mean, nothing seems to be able to stop Tsonga women from making Xibelani out of basically anything, right? Um, and also, drag within Tsonga culture is something that was completely normal. It was something that happened often. Yeah, it was just kind of a part of life. This is a picture of me wearing one back then. Don't feel sorry for me. I have a lot of expensive ones now. That was back then. And this one was, my granny made this, and this is my aunt modeling that one. And it's quite bulky, right? So that's like, you know, it's still made out of sacks, but a lot of sacks. So it's like, you know, I may not have a lot, but I have a lot of not a lot, you know? So you're still flexing. And so throughout the journey of this, you can start to see how Xibelani becomes a status symbol, you know? And there is no Xibelani that is more of a status symbol than the one that is most commonly referred to as Dingubu these days. It's the dignified, old, beaded one made out of woven cloth. This one was around from as early as 1900, but truly came into fashion in the 60s and 70s, right? It has stayed on as a style and status symbol for wealthy women. So the women in this picture are bawling out of control. Like, they're actually bawling like crazy. They're just doing humble poses. But so this Xibelani is characterized by a dark, usually black woven cloth, and then the trim of white beads. You can see there, or you can see there as well. So these beads make it very heavy, but also very expensive. So this Xibelani is like a prized possession, right? Those who are lucky or gifted one maybe on their wedding day. Girls from wealthy families might be gifted one after initiation, or girls whose parents are wise enough to have wealthy friends, then those daughters might also receive that as a gift. But it was something quite special to have, right? These garments are extremely time-consuming to make, and therefore very expensive, right? All Xibelanis are quite expensive to make, so most women hope to have at least one in their life. That's why when people see me and they're like, oh, Sho Madjozi is so humble. Like, she could be wearing expensive brands like all other pop stars. Instead, she's wearing this little traditional attire. And I'm like, I think you've missed the point. Because I'm kind of flexing on you really hard. And I'm not being humble at all. You know? But now, let me introduce you to the most bollalicious Xibelani era of them all. The wool ones, Xibelani Shati Ulu, loud, taking up space, democratic. These emerged after the end of apartheid. Wool was cheaper, it was lighter, it was brighter than the other materials. It was more in your face. The shapes became bigger and more extreme. And this is the most iconic phase of Xibelani. But maybe I just think so because that's the era that I grew up in. I was raised by two very young parents who went to parties a lot. So I went with them. This is me in the pink. Oh, wow. You can actually see me there as well in this picture looking grumpy in the background. So that would be me, and that's what I saw, you know. That's you know, when my mom and aunts would go dressed to Xibelani was like this party you would go to at your friend's place that would live maybe in another village, and you'd have to go dressed in your very best, and that's what they would put on. These were so big that they had to be put on top of the car when you were going to functions, because you couldn't sit next to each other. And also, like, taxi drivers, if they saw Tsonga women coming, would like speed up just a bit more than normal because they didn't really want to put them on because it took so much space, right? But this is what I grew up knowing as beauty. This is what I saw the women doing when they wanted to be the most beautiful. And it's an idea that's really stuck with me, and I haven't really been able to shake that feeling. This is another event that we went to, And you can see these women putting on Xibelani on little me. And so yeah, this is the reason, that's me again. So this is why, like, even though fashion moved from this Xibelani Shatuulu, I have not been able to move. But the fashion did move, and it moved to the Xibelani that most of you probably recognize, which we call Shilemba. Thank you. Her name is Honey Bay. So this is the Shilemba. This is the today Xibelani. This is what you'll see if you go to a store and ask for Xibelani. She's rocking it. Hello. It can be bought ready-made, right? It's usually, so this material can be about like 10 meters long or so, just kind of done, like pleated together in this process called kugandla. So even when you wash it, you have to actually unravel that. So usually you would find like houses in Shawela or any Tsonga neighborhoods being like the whole yard is surrounded by this cloth because there's no washing line long enough, so they just hang it on the fence around. So you just see these houses completely surrounded by this cloth. So it's characterized by this material which comes in many colors and usually comes with this gold trim. That's the trend at the moment. This is the preferred Xibelani for an event called Makwaya. I think it's time I tell you guys about Makwaya. Makwaya is a street bash / competition that happens every week in the townships around Johannesburg. There's a village version that kind of, and a version too, probably. But there's a village version that moves around. The different villages in Limpopo. So groups of Xibelani dancers compete every week, and they judge not just on their choreography and dancing, but also on their outfits. And so all the girls that are here with me today, you'd probably spot in one of these pictures, they all belong to some group of Makwaya dancers. So they would do that every Sunday, competing head to toe. The swag must be on point, the choreography on point, latest music, latest everything. Groups, there's lots of rules, right? So groups must come covered at first, and the Xibelani mustn't show the knees, etc., etc. So you must understand that this is the context in which Sho Madjozi emerges.
And so we come to this point where a young person like Sho Madjozi has now taken on this ancient clothing item, the Xibelani, and uses it in her art.
Sho Madjozi umbala Xibelani xa Tuula. Xibelani xa Tuula ku Xibelani xa ximbariwa khale vakokwana wena va bomba hi xona. Yena a xi vuyisa fashionini. Ku hambana ka Xibelani Sho Madjozi a xi mbalaka na lexi xa kona xi ri kona khale. I ku xa Sho Madjozi xi komisiwile.
The idea of covering the body up is not an African idea. So the shortness of Xibelani that we see in Sho Madjozi's style is in keeping and continuous with previous traditions. But it also says, hey, I have the right to dress colorfully and lightly without losing my tradition.
Xibelani is a cultural item that it comes with specific rules and terms and conditions. Madjozi took that and put it on her shoulders. That is not normal. That has never been done.
And she wena impact kulungofu ka vanhu vo tala ku katsa na mina ni sume business hi mhaka ku va yena a xi endle xi va ka demand Xibelani lexiwa xa Tuula.
Madjozi is the reference. Madjozi is the person who's going to set the tone. Yo, Xibelani ungashi end like what are the possibilities of mambalelo ya Xibelani.
It's Sho Madjozi. Yeah. inkwako. Inaiwela inkwako, inkwako. Kona, wela kona. Let's go. Kona, wela kona. Iya. Iya. Ya, ya. Iya. Ya, ya. Iya. Ya, ya. Angatalan volume phela ungahlangisa umntwana engakushuni. Hey, Sho Madjozi. Iya. Let's go. Kona, wela kona. Ati patine. Kona, wela kona. Ati maline. Kona, wela kona. Overseas. Kona, wela kona. Ami kuyine. Kona, wela kona. Hadorobe. Kona, wela kona. Abengele. Kona, wela kona. Asekele. Kona, wela kona. Inai wela inkwako, inkwako ikon. Inai wela inkwako, inkwako ikon. Inai wela inkwako, inkwako. Inai wela inkwako, inkwako. Alright. Ganda ganda lehingai. Bana lehi tana lemingai. Sometimes look difficult la journey. Ane look humala la vanu. Nava tata vanu manano. Nava la la veri manano. Loy. Loy. Elanga vilali nava loy wawa tanda. Kana wela kana. Adi patine. Adi maline. Overseas. Hey, amigo yine. Adorobe. Abengele. Mane. Amadalen. Inai wela inkwaku, inkwaku ikon. Mane. Inai wela inkwaku, inkwaku ikon. Inai wela inkwaku, inkwaku. Mane. Wata. Inai wela inkwaku, inkwaku. Re. Ay, did I wait to the same way by Ryan and Sho Madjozi? Hello. Thank you so much. This is so cool. So I don't know, guys, I'm just so happy to be able to present this to you guys and for you guys to see the amazing world that consumes so many of us within this same country, you know? And I'm especially happy to have brought my dancers with me because this is, and I think they did extremely well. Would you guys agree? Because it's an extremely different context to what they are normally used to, right? And I think they handled it very well, so I'm gonna have to buy them something. Obviously not over the top, like, I'm not gonna get them like a Xibelani, you know. But just something small to show some appreciation. But the question right now, right, so I've shown you guys sort of the history of how do we arrive here. I've showed you guys the present. But the question is, what is the future? And I think if showing that history can teach us anything, it's that culture has always evolved. I feel it has to, in a way, in order to stay alive. So what I propose is a Xibelani carnival. Something similar to what they've done in the Caribbean, in Brazil, or even the one that happens once a year here in Cape Town, except this time in Limpopo. Imagine imagine the mother of all Makwaya events, right? Almost the annual one that everything sort of builds up to, that every weekly competition kind of leads up to, this yearly parade where the different groups from the different neighborhoods travel to Elim and Limpopo and take part in this parade. As usual, they are judged on their choreography, their dancing, and their appearance. But this time, imagine Xibelani taken to the extreme. We haven't really done it. I'm thinking, just blow it completely out of the water, right? Try to elevate the thing, because I really don't believe in preservation just for preservation's sake. I think it was never one thing, right? We shouldn't try to museumify our culture. I think rather we should interact with it. So I propose we take it to Elim. We parade down this route. You see that yellow line? We parade there. Past people's homes. Maybe there's a competition about decorating your home in some way so that when we walk past it, it's entertaining to us as well. It's not always that we must entertain you. Also sometimes reciprocate. And then there are contests, how to make modern versions of like ancient Tsonga dishes, for example. All sorts of things to kind of take Xitsonga culture to the next level, right? Food, outfits, music. And I was thinking we end it with a concert at this newly facelifted Waterval Stadium in Elim. For this, we would need to get, obviously, the existing Makwaya guys on board, community leaders and members, local vendors, police, law enforcement, etc., to be involved in this. Because this culture will not be preserved by trying to museumify it. It will be preserved by being lived. And being lived does mean being changed, being open to change. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Now, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now, join me as we create the Xibelani of the future. I'm glad you're standing. Just keep it that way. Shit! Might as well stay standing at this point. Sure. Madjozi. Hunajifanya hunioni labda mini John Cena. Linifanya mfungwa wako labda mini Madiba. Sina plan, sina cash, hata pesa misina. Hendo manuna ni treaty kama nimekuibia. Lakini mimi nimekupenda though. I don't know why you treat me like a criminal. Eish, we were just together though. On the same line, why you pressing enter though? Some man I act rough like John Cena. Some man I get buff like John Cena. You used to be cool when I used to come through. Now you wanna act tough like John Cena. Everybody say G. G. Yeah. Some gonna want beef like hyena. Some gonna get beat up Serena. Some gonna get wild. They're gonna get loud. They're gonna take shots like tequila. Everybody say Hybo. Let's go. Yeah. Unajifanya mwalimu wangu labda weni Nyerere. Nanfundisha kutulia labda huna kelele. Takareka na Belinda hata mimi mwenyewe. Ungependa situlie wakati unaenda mbele. Lakini mimi nimekupenda though. I don't know why you treat me like a criminal. Eish, we were just together though. On the same line, why pressing enter though? Some wanna act rough like John Cena. Some wanna get buff like John Cena. You used to be cool when I used to come through. Now you wanna act tough like John Cena. Everybody say Hi Mo. Hi yeah. Some gonna want beef like hyena. Some gonna get beat up Serena. Some gonna get wild, loud, shots like tequila. Everybody say Hi Mo. Yes. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is where we do the pouncing cat now. And then, she. Kwanza, chaza kama wautaki. Pili, kata kama mishkaki. Tatu, ingia hapa katikati. Toka tashona loa kama ni samaki. Kata kama wautaki. Kata kama mishkaki. Ingia hapa katikati. Toka tashona loa kama ni samaki. Thank you guys so very much. It's too much. Some wanna act rough like John Cena. Some wanna get buff like John Cena. You used to be cool when I used to come through. Now you wanna act rough like John Cena. Everybody say, yes. Hiva. Yeah. Some gala want beef like hyena. Some gala get beat up Serena. Some gala get wild, loud. They gonna take shots like tequila. Everybody say, Hiva. Hi. Let's go.